Right. So in this demo, I'm going to show you how you can plan your answer. So it's very critical, right? It's very, very important planning, right? So before you go to the exam center, before you go to the exam, you should have this exam answer structure in your mind. What is it? So now we know how to read the unseen and the reference material, right? It is from the answer page, not from the previous page, right? So now we are in the answer page. So as we saw in our first demo, by clicking this, we can have the exam requirements as well as the reference material like this. So read first the exam requirement, right? So okay, this is the exam requirement. How the figures in the attachment schedule could be used to determine how many of each type of additional free classes we should offer in order to maximize the profit. Now look at, there are two parts of the exam requirement, right? Then it says, please also explain the other factors, right? So this is very critical. So that means there are two parts of this single exam requirement. So sometimes students are only answering the first part, they are just forgetting the second part. So therefore your approach should be, right, read the exam requirement first and identify what has asked, right? And then you can't copy paste, remember that, okay? You cannot copy paste in the real exam, okay? So then understand what are the elements under the each exam requirement and type it in your um, answer window. But remember one thing, first of all, type which subtask you are going to answer, right? So then you can type like this, subtask A, okay? So then you can now type the exam requirement. So here it is asking about how the figures in the attachment schedule could be used to determine how many. So you do not need to type everything, right? Just be mindful and type it in a meaningful way. Okay. So maybe we can type how the figures. Don't worry about spellings, no? In the attached schedule could be used to determine additional fees, something like that, right? So you can adjust this as well, right? So you can move up and down as well as you can adjust this. So depending on your requirement, you can do that. Okay. So whatever, no, you just type it, right? So that is your first exam requirement. Remember to make it bold and underline. So then you know that this is your one of an exam requirement. And then the second part of it, right? Explanation of the other factors, other factors, right? That's enough, right? So then you can have it again like this, bold and underline. So remember, now you are now going to answer for these two major exam requirements under the subtask A, right? Now what you need to do, now go to your unseen, start reading the unseen, right? So okay, whilst the gym are being okay, blah blah blah, right? You read it. So when you read it, right, now you know what to do, right? And also you can come to the reference material, okay, and look at it. What are the informations available, right? So then when you read, you will identify areas there where you can include in your answer. So like this, let's say for the first exam requirement, right? So you have some you identified some information, very valuable information from the unseen and the uh, reference material. So then write it down as your answer points. So how the figures is attached will be used to determine blah blah blah, right? So let's say point one. So I'm not going to type them exactly. And this one no need to be bold. You can just underline that, right? Point one, then point 2, right? Point 3. So how many points you type, right, as subheadings is depending on the time allocation, right? The time allocation demo is there separately. You can watch it, how many minutes you should spend. Okay. So uh, in this way, you can now identify the subheadings that you are going to, or the answer points that you are going to do, and then you can also identify um, the useful information which you can include into the each answer points, right? So then type them in short form. Let's say something like the IBC, right, and XYZ. So I'm just giving you an example only, no? So those things no need to be underlined. You can quickly in this way. Now you are going to explain these each answer point. So when you explain the answer point, the information you got from the unseen and the reference material is already there under each answer point. So then you can easily elaborate that, easily explain that, right? So then you can, once you completed that structure, right? So then you can, what you do, you can complete, you can fill those information, right? You can say, right, as per blah blah, right? So likewise, whatever the information you can type. Remember, when you type, to stick to the 3 to 5 sentences, no? And then go to the second point, type it, and third point, type it, and then go to the factors, right? So even when you read, when you identify other factors, when the factors are coming to your mind, right, type it, point number one, right? Here is the point number one, is the answer point, right? Your answer point, not, don't type as point one two three. Okay. This is an example only. So that is how you can structure, you can have a good plan while reading. Otherwise you will read and come back, you will forget what you have read. So when you are reading, you can have this structure. So try to practice this when you do mocks. So this will be helpful to you. Thank you, and looking forward to meet you again in the time allocation demo, how to do the time allocation um, before start the exam. I hope this one is helpful to you to organize yourself, plan very well when you are answering. Thank you.